Hello everyone. This is my quiz number 3 review, question number 6. The textbook compared the corporate cultures of FEMA and the Coast Guard as exhibited in response to Hurricane Katrina. What was the main difference? The options are the two organizations had very different calibers of leadership and training. The two organizations had very different core priorities driven their decision. The two organizations have very different levels of funding for disaster relief. The two organizations were subject to very different missions, rules, and legal regulations. According to our text on page 84, FEMA is a bureaucratic, hierarchical organization. They have established rules and procedures that must be followed when making decisions. Many decisions require the approval from people in authority. The U.S. Coast Guard shares similar responsibilities as FEMA. However, they're less bureaucratic. The Coast Guard empowers frontline individuals to solve problems without waiting for their superiors to make decisions or give directions. So I think the correct answer is the two organizations have very different core priorities driven their decisions. Okay? The reason why I did not choose option A, the two organizations had very different calibers of leadership and training. I'm sure they had the same type of training since both organizations share some of the same responsibilities, which are to rescue during emergency situations. Option number C, the two organizations have very different levels of funding for disaster relief. Here again, I believe that since both of the organizations are similar in serving the public for disaster relief, I believe they have they share some of the same funding or receive some of the same funding. The option D, the two organizations were subject to very different missions, rules, and legal regulations. According to our text on page 85, it states that FEMA and the Coast Guard are two similar organizations with similar missions, rules, and legal regulations, but they have very different cultures. So I think the best answer is, as I said, B. The two organizations had very different core priorities driven their decision. FEMA had to rely on the authority of possibly upper management or the leadership team in making decisions to respond to the victims of Hurricane Katrina, while the U.S. Coast Guard they could make the decisions on their own. They didn't have to rely on people in positions of authorities to give them direction to respond to Hurricane Katrina victims. Thank you so much.